I don't know. I've never seen someone actually get shot. So.
I saw someone get shot right in the arm. Same
really?
place that this guy got shot.
Ben almost got shot this morning.
It was a 22, but it wasn't the exit wound that bled. It was the entrance wound. This kid got shot. His father shot him out in the desert. We were hanging out shooting guns, and this guy had this gun. It was this old 6-shooter, and you had to quarter cock it to load it so you could turn the cylinder. No safeties at all. The firing pin's right on the hammer. The old style. And he loads it up, brings the barrel up, and pop, goes off. And his 9-year-old son is standing right in front of him. Boom, goes right in his shoulder, right out the back. The kid's standing there, and I'm just watching the whole thing. And it looked like a fountain, like a water fountain. Exactly like a water fountain shoots water in a little arc of blood came right out of his shoulder. He turned completely white, just kind of made a sound, and dropped right to his knees and flat on his face. And I was like, holy shit, that guy's dead. Because it looked like it hit him in the heart. It hit him in the shoulder, right next to like the shoulder-chest kind of area. Went right through. And there was no exit wound or anything? There was an exit wound, but no blood came out of it. How's that possible? I don't know. Whatever blood vessel it hit going in was the one that really sprung the leak. Artery. And, and he just, boom, went down. And then we're in the middle of the Mojave Desert. We were in between Barstow, California, and Needles, Arizona. 50 miles in off the highway. So, had to load him up in the pickup truck with ice packed on the wound and drive him out. And then we had, because it's a gunshot wound, we had the cops come to check out the scene. And they showed up with guns drawn like a SWAT team because they're like, who the fuck was this, the Manson family hanging out in the Mojave shooting each other? It's like we had a shooting in the middle of the Mojave Desert. And there's people out there, like, armed to the teeth, too. We were just, like, I don't know, I forgot how old I was. I think 13 about the time. And, I had 2 6 guns, one on each hip. I had, like, an old Winchester 30-30 on my back. Chaw tobacco. We had doom buggies, and the big Bowie knives, like, just...
I can drive that tanker.
And we did. It was like the Road Warrior. Yeah. We're all kids with guns and dune buggies. And that's what, that was my father's idea of a great time, which it was. We would tow these dune buggies out there, and they were the old Volkswagen fiberglass body put on top of them, dune buggies, and we would just drive around shooting anything that moved, anything that fucking moved out there. I'd be driving, have a kid, that kid Charlie that got shot's 9. He's hanging onto the roll bar on the back, just unloading with an AR-15, and his brother is in the passenger seat with a 12 gauge, just popping jackrabbits and just anything that moved. Wee-haw! Boom, 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 boom! Just firing, and that was our idea of a good time. While the parents, while the older people that were there, because just using the word parent is ridiculous, just stayed up at the old mining shack, because that's what it was. It was an old turquoise mine. Stayed up there just drinking to the point of passing out, and letting the kids drive and shoot all day long. That's amazing. Wow.
I couldn't stay up to watch Charlie's Angels.
Thank you, Adam. Yeah. I'm with you.
Oh, it was great.
He tells these stories. I'm like,
yeah.
What?
We'd climb up these, because it's the Mojave Desert. You ever look down from a plane? It's like sand, brush, and mountains. So we'd climb up these mountains and go up to these boulders that had been there, probably perched up there and watched dinosaurs walk across that valley. And we would push these big boulders down into the canyons, while some of the guys that we were with were walking down. Mm. It was like a Roadrunner cartoon. And you'd hear it coming, like boom, 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 and it would echo, and you'd hear them scream, "Holy shit!" run out of the way. We would take these big. They were old stoves that were there from when old miners were there in the early 1900s. And we would, for some reason, there was a bunch of spray paint cans all over the place, and we'd spray the spray paint into these ovens until the mist built up, and then throw matches in it, and it would a flame would shoot out about 8 feet, and one of the kids that were there singed his eyebrows and the front of his hair off all the way to the middle of his head, and he had to walk around like that for like a month.
I built a tree fort once.
See,
One time I built a tree fort.
I went to my cousin's house. He got the operation game, and we played for hours.
In Oklahoma, we were more into the flaming arrows.
That's a fun one.
Yeah, we'd get arrows, and we'd put like cloth around the end, tie it around the end.
You learned it on TV.
Dip it in gasoline, and just let them fly. And then chase the arrow and put out the fire that it started. And the best was when we were shooting at a target on the fence, and I shot this flaming arrow, and it nicked the top of the fence and bounced up and stuck in the side of my neighbor's house and starts to catch the edge a little bit on exactly.
Yeah.
Big black mark on the side. I was like trying to wipe it off. It was a bad scene.
Yeah. A friend of mine, remember Randy? He used to play a game with his friends when they were kids in the neighborhood. They would take a bow and arrow and shoot it straight up in the air as hard as you could pull back, and it would disappear. And they would all scatter because now you can't see it. It's coming down somewhere around you, but they couldn't see it, so they'd all like, wah! And just run for cover. They were doing this, and they lost track of it. It starts coming down. There was a woman across the street doing her gardening, so she's kneeling on the ground doing her gardening. The arrow came down right in her calf. And just stuck her to the ground.
Come on.
Yeah, as she just starts screaming horribly. Wow. Yeah.
We used to take the wiffle ball bats, and you
get
bottle rockets
right up there.
With a little hole in the bottom of the bottom of the handle. You put a bottle rocket in there, and it's like a bazooka. Now you can aim it.
Yeah, you do that with wrapping paper tubes also, like a bazooka. Tap the guy on the shoulder, light it up, have the bottle rocket fight.
Why are we all trying to top his stories?
No, you're not gonna top
sorry.
him.
Yeah.
Like, your old man takes you target
top
shooting.
His Wyatt Earp story at 9.
It's one thing to go target shooting with your father or something, or like when I was a kid, I used to blow squirrels off the out of the backyard trees with a pellet gun, but nothing like firing.
This is just,
exactly.
It was like the Road
Anthony's.
Warrior.
I joined a militia when I was 8.
It was definitely Romper Room meets the Road Warrior.
This always happens. You try to top your buddy's stories, but we're not going to top his shit.
It was a hell of a time out there. It was truly the Wild West.